Hey guys, this video is a tutorial on how to make Hyperblade run in modern systems, namely Windows 11, perhaps even Windows 10. I've been getting these questions quite a lot since I started uploading videos on this channel back in 2022. And yeah, I decided to make a video. So it's not that complex. It's comprised of 4 steps. So the first one is text editing the exe file. The second one is setting up DxWnd, or whatever this is pronounced. Third is setting up DxWnd, and then the fourth one, which is optional, but in my opinion it makes a tremendous difference, a huge difference, is using reshade. It's important to emphasize, perhaps if you're watching this video, you already know Hyperblade, and you also possibly know that there are 2 modes, graphical modes, whereby you can run the game either with flat shaded polygons, which is the classic look, or with textures. There's even a patch floating around from the year 2000, if I'm not mistaken, which makes so that it's possible to run the game with textures. The thing is, the patch is completely broken, I would say, full of bugs. The most important one I would say is the AI is not capable of getting rid of the rock, which completely breaks the game. So everything in this tutorial is using the flat shaded look, so the original one. So there's no textures involved. So yeah, without further ado, let's step right in. And yeah, all right. So for the first step, the goal is to change the internal resolution of the game. So the game originally runs at 640 by 480. And we want to upscale that to whatever we need. So for this, we would need, of course, a hex editor. Pick the one you like most. I like most the hex workshop, because this allows me to do color mapping, which I think is awesome. For such small edits though, you don't need it. So just go with whatever you want. HXD also works, doesn't matter. So look for the exe file in the root folder. This is HYPERX from October 21st, 96. This is our guy. And the address that we need is, bam, this one. So 11 to A60. So go for it. And you find these 6 bytes right here. These are the horizontal and the vertical components, as you can see here. If I select the AT02, this is in integer 16 is 640, and if I select these two, E001, this is for 18. So this one right here, we are going to change to, in my case, for my screen, I like to do 1920. Bam. And this one, 1080. That's it. Now this is how I managed to make it so that it runs like this. This is one of my videos, by the way, that I'm using as an example. You can see that the resolution in comparison to the original one is much improved. It is basically upscaled. The problem though is, see, the UI is really small. So things like, for example, the radar, for example, or the health of the players is somewhat manageable. Is small, but not that much. Some people even prefer that way. But I'm really bothered by by the size of the names. It's really difficult for me. I prefer like larger UI anyway. So there's a way to change this. Yeah? So let's go back to our hex editor. Those are the 2 resolution values that we just changed. And now the UI addresses are the ones that we need to edit. Luckily, I have those mapped. So there are 4 addresses in total, and for each one of those, we only need to change 1 byte. There are 2 names, one for each team, and there are the names of the players, which are combined in home and away. So 4 addresses in total. So let's start. So this is the first address. You just copy this. By the way, I'm going to leave this in the description though, so don't worry about taking notes. It will be just a copy and paste job. So here is the first address, and you can see this is the value. This is number 11. I would recommend for 1920 by 1080, 15 should be enough. Bam. Second one is same, and if I'm not mistaken, this is really close by. Actually, it's well, whatever. Let's just, yeah, exactly here. So this is also by default is 11. Let's do 15. Bam. And then the other two addresses that are related to the player names. So those are this one, which is also close by. I like to do in a way that the first name is, I mean, the team name is larger than the player names. So for this, perhaps, sorry, I'm a little mistaken here. So this should be 15. This is optional, by the way. Like, you can put 25 if you want. I think 15 is fine, but it was 15 in X and I put in decimal. It's my bad. So we were here, right? And this one should be 11. I think it works well. And finally, the last one is this one, which is also 11. So those are the four that we changed. You can see here, these two for the team names and these two for the player names. So we save so that we are ready to go. Yeah, as you can see here, we changed it. It's a little, this is a live game, by the way. I'm just skating around. Now we changed, yeah. So you can see that the names are much larger. It's easier to see what's going on in terms of which player we are actually controlling now. Now I'm controlling Müller. But the thing is that you can see the font is still basically, I think, Arial or something like this. Is kind of boring. So there's a way to change this as well. So let's come back to our hex editor. And now we have to find the address that controls the font. So this is exactly this one. So there's right here. Again, this should be in the description below. You go to the address. And now we're not looking at the hex bytes, but instead on the text. And here you can see MS sans serif. And this is the font that we had before. And it's not really nice in my opinion. Of course, you can use whatever you want. So this is the goal. You can put Comic Sans if you want. But I think there's a better font for this based on the lore of the game. So in the previous versions of the game, it was always presented with a specific font that I'm going to show you. So right now we are looking at the files from the demo version. This was released, I think, 2 or 3 months before the full game was released. And the demo had a font file. And the font file is this one. There's a preview. And you can see it's completely different. It looks better, I would say, more futuristic and fits better with the universe that Hyperblade tries to create. Yeah. So the thing is, we have to type in our hex editor a font that actually exists currently in Windows, and this font right here doesn't. We can either try to install this one or we can try to find something analogous. So let's go with the second option. So if you come to Word and look for Empire Builder and type whatever, Hyperblade, this is pretty darn close to what we would like to have, or at least what I would like to have, yeah. You can, of course, go ahead and pick Comic Sans. This would be funny, but I think it's not the goal. So let's go with Empire Builder. So what we need to do is we copy the name of the font and we paste right here. So first we have to make sure that this is exactly the same amount of bytes. What I what I like to do is I paste in a separate file and then I count here. So in Hex Workshop, you can see this pretty well. So the size of the selection is 0D. And what we need to replace is the MS sensitive, which is 0D as well. So this is perfect for us. So let's just copy. If you copy if you copy the text, you have to replace the text. So you also select text here. If you go with a byte, you have to do with a byte. Just Control V and that's it. Let's see how this looks like in game. So there you have it. Now we have the really Hyperblade font. And yeah, that should do it for the first step of the tutorial. Okay, moving on to the second step. This is where the magic happens. So the footage that I've been showing you, even the live ones, if you try to simply run the game with the edited exe, you won't be able to do it. So in order to make it at least boot in the first place, we have to use a wrapper. And in this case, we use the DxWnd. The thing is, if you try to go and download this from the official website and you take the most up-to-date version, it won't work. We need a specific version, which in this case is this one right here. And luckily there's a repository in the official website, so to say, where you can download old versions. So let's have a look over there. So this is the website right here. Let's just paste this one here. If you just, as I said, if you just click download, this is the most recent version. It's not what we want. So we have to go to Files, Latest Build, and then we browse until we find the one we need, which is 87. Yes. So we download this one. Okay, so you take the file that you downloaded, just extract somewhere safe in a dedicated folder, and then look for the exe file from the DxWnd, which is this one. So what we need to do is, by default, probably you'll see something like this. Sorry. It will be a little simplified. Just hit Options in Expert mode. This expands a little bit the options that we can use. So we add the file that we want. So name Hyperblade. The path is whatever you selected. So the path from the exe file that we've been editing so far, which is this one. And then OK. And then you just save, file save. Yes. And then you close it. So exit. Okay, good. Now we come to the folder from the DxWnd, and you look for this file right here. Is a ini file, which is DxWnd ini. You double click here, and there will be a bunch of things going on here. What we need to do is to replace this by a text that I prepared myself. So, which is this one, should be in the description. Just Control A, Control V, and save. And that's it. So we close and open DxWnd again. Yes. And our file is there. The name changed. By the way, it's important to emphasize that here you have to make sure that this is exactly the path that we've been working on. In this case, it's a dedicated folder that I created for the tutorial, so it's exactly like this. But most of the times, I think it looks more or less like this by default. Just make sure that things are consistent across the different things that we are doing. Okay, now we come back to the DxWnd, and we have our icon here. Let's just try to run the game and see how this actually looks like after the tweaks. The first thing we'll notice is that the menu is constrained in the upper left-hand side. Actual resolution here is 630 by 480. By the time I'm recording this tutorial, I haven't found a way to fix this. If I do, I'll let you guys know, but I would consider this something minor. So let's go to the gameplay itself. I'll just, we can try to select something, whatever. Let's go with the ambush against the machine. This is pretty random. Let's go with the rolling. Wait. It doesn't matter. Let's go to the with the machine. And let's see how it looks like. Menus are still constrained on the top, but if you click here, then it takes the whole screen, and it works exactly as we want. So all the changes we did are in effect. You can see the UI is the way we edited with the font. The sizes of the UI elements are relatively okay, at least the text ones. Of course, the radar speed bar or whatever this is called, they're still kind of small, but I think this is not a game breaker at all. It's not too fast nor too slow. It's just normal pace as it was. It's upscaled, as you can see, to 1080p or 1080. And what else? Yeah, it simply runs. Yeah, it looks flat shaded, of course. The teammates can get rid of the rock, so can I. Okay, the controls are all different because this is a dedicated folder after all. But yeah, we could in theory just stop the tutorial here, but I would like to go one step further, which is how to make this look better. At the moment, I played the whole season, so to say, that I've been uploaded videos from. Just like this, yeah, it was fun, and actually the flat shaded polygons, they fit really well with the universe, so I see no problem with it, but we have ways to improve this. So this is the second half of the tutorial. So step number 3 is to find a way to make use of these modern tools, because the game itself, it runs in direct draw, and we would like to find a way to make this run in DxX 11 so that we can use reshade, for example. And for this we need an intermediate step, which is the use of DxWnd. I've been talking too much, so let's go back to the tutorial. So for the third part of the tutorial, we're going to deal with the DxWnd 2. Unfortunately for this one, we need also an older version, which is this one. And if you go to the official website, you will not find this. It's no longer available. And for some reason, the newer versions, none of them work. So yeah, I'm going to make this available to you guys. Then just download from I don't know, a link that I'm going to leave in the description below. So once you download the file, just extract in a safe place in a dedicated folder. And the first thing you have to do is you go to this folder, MS, go to x86, and then select everything here, copy, and then paste directly on the Hyperblade folder, which in our case is this one. The files are already there, but originally they're not. So we have the files here, and now we can open the DxWnd app. Here we have to add the folder that we've been working on, so the root folder of the game. And here we have to do the following things. So here we put the output API on Direct3D 11. Here enumerate refresh rates, and then you go directly to DirectX. We won't be using Glide. Just leave the virtual 3D accelerated card, the default one. VRAM I put 1024. Probably this is placebo, but I don't care. The resolution, here we can pick the refresh rate if you guys have screens that have higher refresh rates, which is my case. That's why we ticked that box, so I'm going to pick this one. The rest is more or less should be left as is. The watermark I remove. That's it. You apply and you're ready to go. Sorry, one more thing I forgot. We have to disable one of the options on the DxWnd, otherwise it won't work, which is exactly this one. Before it was ticked, just untick this one and apply and OK. And now we have to jump back to the DxWnd, see whether this game still works or not. So here we are. Let's just double click DxWnd, double click on the game, and In theory, we haven't done anything substantial in terms of graphics, so it should look exactly the same. But one thing that may happen is exactly this. It's all black. And I don't know why this happens, but it's easy to fix. We just Alt-Tab out of the application, hover here, hover here, and click it, and then you have it. Then let's just try to play a game. Rolling against the Lone Stars in Seattle. Works as a charm, yeah. So as I said, there is no difference between before and after we used DxWnd, but now we are all set to the fourth and last step of the tutorial, which is the use of the reshade tools. So the final part of the tutorial, the final step, is the fun one, which is the use of the reshade. Probably some of you guys already know how this works, as this tool is really widely used in a bunch of other games, and it's an amazing tool, so to say, to improve the graphics of the games. And in our case, especially, it works really well, especially because let's face it, the graphics from the original Hyperblade without the textures are really bare bones. So let's try to use this. We have to download from this website right here. So let's just, it's already there. Just click download. By the time of the tutorial, the latest version is 6.7.3. Get that one. Open. And now it will ask for a game or for the root folder of the game where we want to install this. So we can browse. So I found our tutorial folder. Just click on the exe file, which is this one, and hit next. Here we want to select DirectX 11, which is one of these ones. Next, just select all of them. Yeah, don't be greedy. Just next. It takes a while to install, so I'll be back as soon as this is over. So there we have it. It's installed here. As you can see here, there are some new files here. So reshade INI, preset INI. And now we would like to have a look on how to activate this in our game. So let's go back to the DxWnd. Yes, and then let's open the game. It will happen, the same thing will happen before, that happened before, it will happen again. We have to compile all the effects that we have, which is quite a lot of them. There are two things to keep in mind. We don't need all these effects. In my opinion, we have like 7 or 8 that are really nice. All the other ones you can just throw away, so that when you load the game, you don't need to compile anything. And yeah, and the second thing is the same issue happens. So you just have to Alt-Tab out of this, hover here, click it, and yeah, now we have our game. I won't take any teams. Let's go directly to the match. This may happen. I think this is just because it's still compiling. So I will pause the game right now and wait until it compiles, and then I will unpause as soon as this is finished. So we are back. Everything has been compiled. I can unpause, or I can already proceed with the modifications I want. So here is written that I have to hit home, which is in my keyboard is in German, so it's position 1. So if I hit this one here, then I'm prompted with this, let's say this window. If I go to the start, there's a tutorial. You can follow the tutorial, just skip. Actually, I'm not skipping, I'm just going through. Yeah, and then at the end, you just need to load the effects. It's really intuitive. Just click on until you find it. And then this is where the magic happens. Each and every one of these options is a different effect. So for example, if I click this one, it's the CRT look. If I click on, I don't know, arcane bloom. You can have some sort of bloom going on, and this is live stuff. Yeah, the game is running, so I'll just put this one and CRT just to illustrate. I hit home again. Oh, this is not so nice. So let's remove this bloom and just use whatever artistic vignette. You can see this. Hit home and then pause, and the game is running. Yeah, in a modified graphical setting. Of course, this is just to illustrate that we didn't upscale this game to look like this, but for the exercise of showcasing the capabilities of Reshade, I think this does a good job. So let's just pause again, which by the way, Hyperblade is one of these funny games, perhaps the only one, that really uses the pause button of your keyboard. Most of them is either escape or enter or even the letter P sometimes. This one you hit pause, yeah, the button pause, and then you pause the game. Whatever. Let's deactivate these things. And I have compiled a set list, not a set list, a list of effects that, in my opinion, work well with this game. So I'm going to show you this in a second. So whenever you change something in the reshade menu, the file that is modified is this one, reshade preset ini. And as you can see, it's a bunch of different settings. Each one of these is a different effect. Those are the ones that I decided to put in my game. And I will leave these in the description below. You can just copy and paste in your reshade preset file. But let's just go back to the game. It's already there in the folder. Let's see how this looks like in real time. So this is our game without reshade, with my effects. If we click this, then we get the game as I like to play. Yeah. As you can see, it's a little slow at the moment. I think just because the OBS is running in the background. The things that I try to aim for is some sort of vignette around. I think it's a kind of the original style on the promo videos and so on is kind of dark around. There's a lot of bloom going on. As you can see, the UI now has this some sort of brightness. So does the rock. There's a little bit of lens flare as well if you take the rock. Just the controls are all wrong, so I don't remember which ones are the ones to. Okay, now good. Now I can skate a little faster. So you can see that the kind of a lens flare effect going on. Also, there's a little bit of bump mapping on the player armors, so you can see kind of it's not that flat shaded anymore. It has some sort of depth, which looks really cool in my opinion. Let's multiply this, and then it's kind of dependent on how white the thing is. Now that it's ×2, someone died. Now that's ×2, it's no longer purely white. It's kind of orange. Let's do once more. And this is not as reflective as it doesn't cause as much of lens flare as the pure white does. This is just it's important to say this is just my personal preference. Yeah, you can go ooh. Okay, that's tough. This is just my personal preference. You can go. It's a really fun experience. If you pause the game, you go to the settings here, and then you can kind of modify the way you like. So for example, this bump mapping, if I disable this is how it looks like. It's a little bit flatter. And the same goes with the monocular cues. Now it's completely flat. This looks also okay in my opinion, but this just looks better. And you can try several things. I was trying, for example, this rain, kind of raindrops. Like for example, film grain is possible, so you can see a little bit of more like a grainy image. I was doing drop shadow. No, it's not. Whatever, it doesn't matter. This is just there's lots of different effects that you can pick and choose, and Some of them don't work because they are intended for games that run in a more modern graphics engine. But you can sharpen this thing. For example, there are settings here below for each of the effects. You can see a little bit. Some of them are more um, not so strong. You have to really pay attention to see the differences. Some of them, for example, monochrome changes completely the game. So, for example, this, if you want to do like a game as it was played in the 2020s, which is when the Hyperblade lore stated that it's when the game really started to be played, then you can try to. Even though, I mean, 2020 is probably the guys already had color TV, so doesn't fit that nicely. But yeah, there you have it. I hope my explanation was enough. There are other things that I would like to cover in some future tutorials. Hyperblade is a really moddable game, so you can mod a lot of things. Like all the colors you're seeing in the screen, you can change. So for example, if you want to make the shockwave, instead of blue and yellow, more like Los Angeles Lakers feel to it, like purple and gold. This is possible even though the palette is only 256 colors. There are enough colors to change. Those are things that I'd like to cover in the future tutorial. I hope this video is not that long, and if you like it, you don't need to leave a like. Just pass forward to your colleagues and friends. The goal is to make as many people playing this game as possible, so that we can make someone to remaster this and have a proper Hyperblade experience using modern graphical engines and whatnot. That's it.